Oh, I gotta pull up my mic. What's up, guys? How's everyone doing this fine Saturday here in Canada? Let's just make sure that's not too loud. I'm gonna check my audio levels and then we'll take her for a rip and see what's going on in the markets today. That's weird. My YouTube said it's still waiting. Let me see if I can get it going. Oh, there we go. Okay. Good. So it's sounding good. I think I just gotta switch my charts out. There we go. So, what's going on? Happy weekend, everybody. Let's see. Just gonna spam a couple more times in Gme chat. Here. Alrighty then. Oh, let's get rid of that paper trading. I'm actually running. I'm running the Leap is what it's called, and it's basically like you can trade on the Leap with paper trading, and there's a competition. You can win like 10 Gs. You can even win just 1 month of free trading view. So it's worth jumping in. I think there's only like 5 or 6 days left. Hoping for a TradingView sponsorship out of this one. I'm just kidding. GME, Cryptera. Oh, 4 viewers. Wow. Thanks, guys. Really nice to have some people hopping in on this. So yeah, what we're looking at on BTC, we'll just jump into BTC real quick, and then we'll get right into GME. Because, yeah, like I said, we were looking at this trend breaking to the upside, and then we had another sort of liquidation right after it broke to the upside. Hit all-time high, made a new all-time high, hit 70K, all that fun stuff. So, yeah, I think this guy, you know, we can delete that. And we can see, look at the squiggles. Oh, which one is it easier to see on here? Look at the squiggles. So close, right? Like, they played out as I expected. I was, again, just wrong on time. So, like, if we just go back here, it was really that we were looking at. Anyways, so, yeah, BTC, I think, continued just trending on upwards. We're going to break this all-time high finally, I think, on the 3rd, 4th, 5th try. You can see that sort of wedge structure is happening. You know, this is the sort of wedge structure that we're seeing. So yeah, I mean this could just be moved up. Something like that. Something like that potentially could happen. We just want to see a break above that, so it's better to probably just draw a new one. Probably like this. If anything, we might get one more flush and then continue. That was a little more bearish. So yeah, got a bunch of GME family in the chat for sure, so I'm definitely going to just jump on the GME chart right away here. So we were looking at this. This was the psychology chart, you know, a few videos back that I made this. Disbelief, hope, belief, euphoria, panic, fear, all that sort of stuff. So I think we just hit disbelief. It took us a little longer to play out. Again, projecting this is the low, and now we can see that, like, you know, we have this large W forming. Those definitely tend to correct to the upside, and then tend to go past their point of origin, so to speak. So yeah, I think we look for something to get created above that. But it's definitely making its way up there. We've cleared this middle, this middle zone. once we cleared this with some style, then again, you know, probably something like this, and then continue on up. So look for both these zones to kind of play something in. If you're looking just to swing, that's what you're gonna see people swinging from. You know, you can see them swinging from here to here, and now they're gonna swing from here to here, or like a little bit lower, right? They're potentially getting good entry at a 50% retracement of this last move. We can look at that on a lower time frame. Let's go 15 minute. And then we can see this recent move. Oh, whoops. I clicked the wrong tool. So this recent move, we'll see that. And we're looking like we just bounced off the 50% retracement of that. So yeah. GME. What's he saying? Hold on. Stakes on, yeah, buddy. GME to $3. You heard it here first. GME to $3. Let's put that on the chart. Y'all know I've already got markers up here, 5 cents. This is our extension, right? That's our extension. And I'll show you guys something interesting, actually, because I made a thread. Actually, and I want to show you guys that thread. But I want to mark this out. We're going to mark $3 GME. Stakes on moon, MF. Stakes on the motherfucking moon, for sure. Except I don't eat meat, so they can, like, I mean, they can do, like, a vegan steak or whatever, right? So that's our target, $3. Let's look at it on 1 day. Let's zoom out a little bit better. So this is going to look like a blip on the radar at $3. As you can see, it's just going to be a flat nothing. But what this guy says is totally doable. $3 GME would correlate to about 20 billion, 21 billion market cap, plus or minus, depending on how much we burn. Because apparently, I heard today, this is some alpha for you, but I heard today that the bonk bot partnership, because we burn the fees. So what happens is, like, they take the fees for people buying GME through BonkBot, and then they actually buy GME and burn it. So, or 10% of the whatever GME fee or whatever it is. However they get this GME, they've been burning it, and they burnt 500K. So already $500,000 GME is gone out of the system, never coming back. Which to me, that's super bullish. Why does that change so much on the 1 day? That looks totally different on the 1 day. Let's have a look at that. That's super weird. Do you guys notice something? That goes up to 0.55. And that goes up to 0.45. What is going on here? This chart's a little bit messed. Yeah, this chart's a little bit messed. That's not what it's supposed to look like at the beginning. That would be crazy though, wouldn't it? Either way, if you were to look at it like that, you could see this major trend down is just breaking right now. Oh, we already had that on there. But we had it on there on like a lower time frame, so it was actually showing us the chart properly. Like there's that tip, 2, 3, and then we grinding up against this. So I would say this is really our third push out is right now, and we're really pushing out. Like we're pushing out with steez, big time steez out of here. This candle right here, 47% candle. So let's show you guys. Let's show you guys my thread. Look at this thread. And Giga, kind of scared how spot on this was. If the silverback chart is an indication of what's about to happen to GME, goodness. So this is what I was posting about, short fractal thread about GME. Here's a comparison to Haram, which looks very similar in a fractal. Right, we can see that. You know, we had major move up, consolidation, another move up, consolidation, and then explosive move up. We can see the same sort of thing on GME. Explosive move up, consolidation, a move up, another consolidation. Technically, we're due for a big push up, this sort of style. And then here's the days it took to exit the core correction after the high in the middle of accumulation. So on Haram, this took 9 days and 4 hours. And then we can see here 6 days and 12 hours so far. This was last night at 10 p.m. my time, probably about over 14 or 16 hours ago. 15 hours ago. There we go. So 15 hours ago, I was saying like this is 6 days and 12 hours, 9 days and 4 hours. At any point, essentially, this could break out. And here's some look ahead at the potential fractal increase in percentage. Note that this is just under 0.027, which is the 2.618 fib extension. The fib is a fractal. So like if you know about fractals, then you know that it's like, it's basically what we're looking at right now. So fractals in themselves are just patterns that we see in nature, right? So right here we can see the, oh, it's actually the 1.618. Sorry, my bad, guys. 1.618 is at the 2350. So just a little bit higher than that. I think I had it marked differently on this one though. No, my bad. Weird. I didn't have it marked differently on this one either. I have a 2.2 as well. So that seems right. Yeah, 2.3, 2.2. That's kind of the 1.618 extension. So like this is kind of where we should look in between the 1.618, 2.618. This is kind of the range that we'll expect the next moves to play into. So just something to pay attention to. Okay, and it looks prime for takeoff. Target is 183 million market cap based off the fractal. History rhymes, not repeats, so take it. Don't take it as gospel, right? So this is the Haram. We can see 1,251% gain off of that low. And we're looking at this low here that was created. And 1,257% will take us to the 2,662. That's what I calculated the 183 million market cap off of. So then I did draw a squiggle, for the hopium and the copium, for the meme, and basically ended a thread. So that's what it looked like last night. And then I think I actually updated that today. Somewhere down here. Yeah, here. So last night I posted some fractal ideas, then made a squiggle. Here's the progression of the squiggle. And we can see it pushed up. It hit our resistance line. And then it really rocketed past that. So now, what are we looking at right now? We are looking at... I wish I had that squiggle on here so I could show you guys, but it's on my phone. But yeah, basically like that's the W that we were in. So the squiggle was basically like this and went up to about 7 is kind of where the squiggle went, right? Like, yeah, up to about the 7. This is just literally some lines I freaking drew on the chart. So, and look at that. I mean, we have some resistance here. I think we have this one is a more major resistance point, and then this one we're looking to flip. So yeah, kind of like we really want to flip this into support, right? It's going to be resistance, then it's going to be support, and then it's going to go from there. So yeah, we can see that actually with confluence of back here, right? There's a lot of volatility around this section here. So that's kind of, I think that's going to be confluent. I think if we look at it like this, I was looking at this the other day as well, because this is the volume profile, and it's actually very important to look at when it comes to what's happening in these moves. So again, I was talking about this, how we see this happening to the volume profile, right? So this is kind of our climax. That's what it means, is that volume or price spent the most amount of time right here. Volume or price spent the second most amount of time here, and the third most amount of time down here, and probably equal-ish to up here. So as we can see, the hill going up, and then going down. So this is the big boss, right? This was kind of like support. This was like a, I'll help your ass while you're going downhill. And then now that we've gotten to the peak of the hill, this was our climactic moment. This is where a lot of emotions happened in the charts. This is where a lot of emotions happened inside of the chats, because they're reflexive, just like fractals themselves. So then second biggest boss is going to be this guy right here. We're actually fighting the second biggest boss right now. That's why, like, if you have friends, we need all the friends we can get to fight this boss. What coin are you covering? Quite small on the screen. Nice to you. Really huge billions. Oh yeah, billions. Yeah, it could. Oh yeah. I mean, so like Haram is a good meme as well, but I think the narrative of people's conviction is much stronger with something like Gme, just because the GameStop narrative is so insane. I'm actually gonna go and watch Dumb Money again after this, because I it's tough, you know what I mean? You see Bowden, you see these Swifties, you see Bobo and Peng and Salam, you see all this other stuff, and it's tough to not feel paper handish, but we need to be strong. Again, this we looked at from before, inverted head and shoulders, right? We have lots of reasons to be bullish here. We have lots of reasons that this boss, I don't think, is going to be too hard to fight. It's showing us like, oh yeah, it's so hard to fight on the 1 minute chart, right? Like if you drill down to the 1 minute chart, it's like, oh no, it's over, we're going back down. But it's really not, you know what I mean? Like if you look at it on a bigger trend, like 4 hours, much nicer trends to be looking at this stuff on. And we can see it's actually looking really nice. What this looks like is the inverted of this. And then what happens is this part's going to invert and go upwards, right? So we're going to see, instead of seeing, right now we're doing this on the bottoms, right? We came down in, and then we're doing this. Next we're going to see go up and then do this, right? On the tops. So yeah, definitely need to keep an eye on RSI. I would say on a 4 hour, we want to see usually the 50 is the nicest, cleanest bounce. As we could see it back here between the 40 and the 50. This is where a lot of price action happened, but when it bounced, even if the RSI didn't go as high, which it doesn't really matter, price went higher. We've seen this with BTC as well, so don't use RSI to call tops. It's just good to see how strength is. Right? Underneath 40 is downtrend, above 40 is uptrend. So what does that mean? We're fighting with this right on this level of the 50, which means uptrend, downtrend, right? So then once we're back in here and retest, then it's off to the races, right? It might even go down like this, but like we could still be in an uptrend while this price is doing, RSI is doing this, right? Price could be continuously going up while RSI is actually trending down. So just something to keep an eye on. Again, we've seen a lot of momentum begin right here with RSI pushing back up above 50, marking it as an uptrend. MACD is also something to take a look at. Some people like looking at. It's the same sort of thing. And we see it that it's flipping when these two lines of moving average go above the 50, that's when we're trending upwards again. So I think we're about to start trending upwards quite nicely on all sort of indicators. Yeah, so let's just leave this actually on the chart, and let's just quickly go back over explaining. So big boss, second biggest boss, third biggest boss, and if any of you all played video games, you know what it's like. You know what I mean? The big boss is really, really tough. The second biggest boss is like, okay, it's tough, but it's not as tough as beating the biggest boss first and then fighting the second biggest boss. We've got all of the warriors that had to take place here and destroy this big boss. It happened, right? And we're on our way out right now. the tough thing is that when you have a boss back to back like this, you might not have gotten, you know, your gear ready and stuff like that. So that's why we see a lot more volatility around something like this. That this is like, we can see this red line. Yeah, this red line here is our POC, point of control. So that's why price hanging out underneath point of control is bearish, above point of control is bullish, and we actually bounced on this point of control. So this is really looking good, like a nice point of inflection. This yellow line was kind of my median point of this top move. So like I was saying before, we need to rip above this with some form of conviction. So this might look like one of these, right? You might see just like some sort of zigzagging right around here, right, before we continue on up. So yeah, guys, Gme looking really nice, really juicy. I think we follow this trend up here that I was kind of pointing out to, you know, it looks like to the 1 cent sort of mark. Maybe again, maybe move this, could be down to like the 7, right around the 50%. Yeah, that, I mean, that kind of makes sense too. But we'll see how it goes. It might take longer. It looks like, you know, we're maybe projecting out, so it's taking a little bit longer to play out. Although we had all-time highs, people were saying all-time high by March 21st, which again I'm okay with, because it's confluent with something that is exciting for me in my life. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna just go over a couple more of these bigger charts that we were looking at. So BTC dominance, you usually start off with this guy. Again, we're looking, oops, we were looking for price to sort of push past this, or sorry, dominance to move past this, otherwise it's going to fall down. So I think we've realized that it's, you know, starting to fall down because there is sort of a rotation in play. We can see it in things like ETH BTC. ETH BTC is still in this lower sort of wedge formation, but it had two major moves to the upside, 5% and you know, 3.5%, so like 8.5% in 2 days. So like, I mean, we're seeing some forms of FOMO reach ETH as we continue this grind up this trend. And what were we looking at here? I know we talked about this more recently, but yeah, I think, like I was saying, we continue trending on up into the 13th and sort of see what happens. We do have some markers here to play with, so I think maybe it's potentially hangout zone until the 13th. So like that. Whoa, what's going on? So maybe like this or like that, and then just kind of go from there. There is some caution in this area because we're reaching the 4K and we're just kind of bouncing along. But again, I still think like ETH has potential to outperform BTC from this point. That having been said, I just don't think that Sol doesn't outperform both of them. We are still at sort of this inflection point that we were looking at on my charts earlier. So this kind of like, it moved over a little bit instead. And then yeah, I think we still want to see that happen, just maybe a little bit further down the line. So we did have some really significant pushes up after we had this major, I think this was the liquidation event down, and sort of same look on Sol ETH. But overall, Sol is looking like it's ready to move from here. It's deciding right now when, you know. But I think we're looking at this log projected upwards from potato. This was potato, this is log. Let's actually look at it on the bigger time frame so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Just a consistent move upwards to a good sideways play. So I think now we're in that consistent move upwards again. This was sort of the first push and then took a break. So like we had first push, took a break. Second push, took a longer break. Second push, could take a longer break. I personally don't think so. I think we move up a little bit faster because we can see here, this moved up quite a bit faster in the first sort of part of the leg, and then took like half the time to correct, and then another big push up, right? So tough to say, but I know we have some resistance points that we're looking at here on the upside. Yeah, I think this is, see, this was one we were looking at volume wise. I think that's where we got it. Yeah, I think we got it from back here. Yeah, there was a lot between sort of the 135 and 140-ish where we are right now. Let's just have a look at the price movement on the way down. Not a lot to work with. How about price movement on the way up last time? This looks pretty good. This is giving me some better resolution. So we can see there's a lot of support here right on the 138 to 142. This is probably where a lot of volume happens and then moves and pushes up into this 160. So I think we're kind of we're having a difficulty clearing this along this psychological resistance of 150, considering like I'm sure a lot of people got in at 15 bucks and this is kind of their 10x, you know what I mean? So like we see a lot of rotations because of that. A lot of meme coins doing really good because of that. So yeah, I think moving up to 160 here very soon. After that, it's pretty quiet to all-time highs around the 260 mark, right? So yeah, I think this is major. As we can see, big boss, smaller boss, smallest boss out of these major bosses. So yeah, I think this is if we can push past this 140 to 160 range with some gas, that we're not going to have too hard of a time to move up into the all-time highs, considering the amount of FOMO that's going to start ensuing with this meme coin March Madness. And considering a lot of the best growth in meme coins are happening on Solana. So yeah, our trend is beginning to get pretty ridiculous here as well. That's why it makes sense for it to, you know, take a day to kind of trade up and down. Looking at a little bit smaller time frame though, and I just think, when did we talk about entering this trade? I don't know when we were talking about entering this trade, but yeah, like we're just gonna leave it there. It's playing around with our entry, but as you can see, we gave it enough room to breathe that we're not too worried, right? Because this thing, the other day, we had a major liquidation candle again. 4%. Probably about 5 or 6% drop in, you know, a matter of a couple hours. 7% drop in a couple hours, right? So, like, not quite as big as this one. This one was crazy. But this one had been kind of, I think this one had been brewing for a long time. 27% correction. We didn't see anything quite that drastic, actually, since Sol started running up. Oh, we had this one. This was pretty big. Okay, so we have had another 27. That seems to kind of be the money. $16. So we do get these liquidations sort of, as you can see, cascade there. You know, bigger cascade here. It looks bigger in price because it's just in relationship to percentages. This probably felt the worst too, just because of how it looks. 140. Imagine buying this, like, oh shit, we're going all-time high, buy this, and then have price immediately dump on you down to, you know, $100. Like, almost a 30% haircut instantly. Crazy stuff. But then, you know, why you want to be buying dips. This is why you want to be buying dips. If you bought this dip, you won't get this peak of bottom. But if you bought this dip, you could have made 50% in a few days. And if you're still holding, you'd still be up 40% in just a few days. Right? So that's why people buy dips. Right? That's why people buy dips. Even if you bought this, like, you know, after a little bit of a move up here, 30%, right? Where I would have looked to buy, again, we see these W's forming, right? There's an entry, there's an entry, there's an entry. These are all entries, right? So it's just a matter of, like, you know, having patience, having conviction. You know, bring this back to an example. Let's do it on this one, because then I can... Sorry, guys. So with this one, we can see, you know, big drop down, and then we start forming W's and W's, and we're going to form another W and a W and W, and then it's just going to continue going up. So yeah, guys, if you haven't followed my ex, follow my ex. If you haven't followed Kazanomics, definitely follow Kazanomics. You can find him on kazanomics.com/blog. And I think in his contact here, you can find all of his socials. Jump on all these socials. The Twitter's got all the alpha. You know what I mean? Like, this is where you get a lot of his alpha. You can see here all these calls: crypto cycle timing, stock market cycle timing, credit interest rate cycle timing, all crypto black swans in 2022. He literally called these all, guys. Artificial intelligence bull run, called it in August 1st, 2022. You could have been there for NVIDIA. Wow. RWA and DeFi wave, September 17th, 2023. Solana on August 21st. This is actually, I would say, part of the reason why I got so involved with Solana. I think, you know, I was buying or trading it at this point, sometime after this point. Injective Protocol, July 21st. We all know what Injective did. So yeah, I definitely, you know, follow out this craziness, because yeah, all I'm saying is, like, there's the right people to follow and there's the wrong people to follow. And there's people like this where, you know, they might not be spoon feeding you, like, here's your entry and here's your exit, but what they're doing for you is much more important. Like, even me showing you something like this, don't take this trade. If you don't know what you're doing, don't take that trade. I'm just doing it as, like, example, you know what I mean? I could still get blown out. Like, you've seen this, 30% down. I'm toast in this trade. That's why you just want to risk one risk. You risk, like, you know, if you have $1,000, 1% of $1,000 is $10. So you can risk $10 on this trade, you know, and then 12 times that $10, you're gonna make $120 out of $10. Right now, you know what I mean? Like, this is a total example, but the ratios, they're basically the same. So whether you have $1,000, 10,000, 100,000, it's the same ratios. You know what I mean? And that's why your risk should be one risk, not like a different sort of risk every time. That having been said, there's things like GME where you know, these are more like investments. That's how you have to play them. You play them a little more like investments, but I would recommend taking profits as if they're trades. So, you know, at certain points in the chart and things like that, you can actually take profits to assist the chart later as well. Anyways, guys, I think that's all I'm going to rant about today. Yeah, definitely, like, keep an eye on it too. You can just keep an eye on Dex Screener, and you can see new tokens come up every day and really have big run-ups. Let me see if I can find one that I was looking at just the other day. It's not even in there. Silly goose, and this one's on a big dip right now. I don't know what this line's about. Oh, that's what that line's about. Yeah, we were looking for this to break out of here. And look at that. So once it broke above this, boom, just rockets. So you can see that very often in the charts. It peaks out, it runs down, it breaks that downward trend, it breaks above its next peak. This is kind of what we're looking at on Bitcoin, right? Like, Bitcoin's going to its all-time high, and this is what people are looking at. It's just gonna fucking send, right? So this one, I think it was just looking like a fun one, and I think I called it out in my TG. I think it still has lots of legs to run, and actually this isn't a bad place to get in if you were to get in something like this, because it's bouncing off that, right? And it can continue going. Either way, again, like, you can see this happened in less than 24 hours. This ran to, I think, 17 million market cap, right? So you can see, you can find stuff like that every day. You know, you can definitely capitalize on these meme markets right now. So I'm not telling people to only buy GME. I'm just saying that for me, I really appreciate GME community and where it's going to go. And I think this is a very solid meme coin to be buying. I've also been in it since really early, so I'm biased. Take what I say with a grain of salt, and take what anyone on the internet says with a grain of salt, because you never know, right? You can never know. So yeah, just wanted to just mention that at the end there. Just not financial advice on any of this stuff, because I'm just some guy on the internet, like with the Hisoka outfit, and I'm just chatting about charts and telling you what I see. But yeah, we can see here, boom, right onto this 3,400. Strong resistance. Strong resistance here. Now we want to see strong support. And then definitely going to move up from here. Definitely going to be moving up. Remember that, though, it took 9 days or whatever. 7 days, 8 hours now. So, like, it could take another 2 days. Who knows? Anyways, guys. Yeah. That's it from me. Andy's Crypto Talk. Peace out for this one. Looking for sponsors. If anybody. We're looking for sponsors here.